Welcome to another segment of the Akashic Hour, where the amazing Valentina Matthias, an international Akashic elder, guardian of the Akasha, part of the royal lineage of the Akashic Guardians, and master healer, will be answering live questions from the audience. So if you want to have a chance of having your question answered by either Valentina or one of her graduates, like myself, then stick around to the end. And today's question comes from Osa, and it's such an incredible question, especially for those of us that have been called to work with the earth as grid workers. There's so many gems that come out in this question, and we really see the merging of the galactic Akash coming here and the earth Akash. And also, there is just a beautiful message from Mother Gaia from us, and some really important advice that she brings through in order to help us to help. So it's such an incredible question. So thank you, Osa. And, we're going to dive straight in. This is a section that me and Valentina pre-recorded earlier. So let's just dive straight in. So we've got Osa. So Osa is also asking about grid work. So Osa asks, recently I felt called to this land in Washington that sits at the center point of three great mountains. I would love to learn of why I am called there, specifically, and if there are any insights on the area as a grid point for the Earth. She also would like to know what is on the horizon for Mother Earth's grids and how does she best support the grids and serve Mother Earth at this time.
Okay. So we
To break
will,
that down.
yeah, we'll break that down. We'll look at these three big mountains in Washington State. Wow, that's coming in very quickly. This is a grid point for healing the womb, um, including sexual trauma as well. It's a feminine grid point. There's just this spiral of very strong energy coming, uh, in this case, from Osa's womb down into that area. But it's for all women.
Yeah.
Um, and there's definitely a fire energy in there too. And I'm asking more about that grid point. And there's a fire in the sky above it. So it's a galactic and an earth grid point. Oh, it's very strong. And um, I've only seen that in my, limited journey so far on earth with Akashic clients, with Aboriginal clients here in Australia, and one woman who is not Aboriginal, she's Australian, but she thinks she probably does have Aboriginal heritage. But anyway, with the fire in the sky above where they have come into earth and where they're living. And it represents I'm just tuning in and asking if I'm correct. Yes, it represents um, the star journey of where your spirit fire, so your galactic Akash energy, has come across the sky, the star pattern, to the fire above where you're born. And it can also be, well, this is what I've seen before, above where you're born, and then you come down through. And sometimes people will travel together and come down through it at separate times. But if come into that fire, that star fire. And then in this case, I'm asking what it is. They're saying, yes, it's a galactic star fire where a lot of the star families have come through above that point that Osa's talking about, that grid point, and come to the fire above it in the sky, and then use that as like a portal of energy to bring themselves down into their incarnations on earth. It's I'm asking if it's a strong woman fire point. They're saying not specifically that grid point on earth is, but it's a star grid point where a lot of the star families can come to then descend into earth from there. So that's what that grid point is. And I'm saying thank you so much. And I'm just like, my base chakra is just on fire as well, even just talking about it, or my womb area.
Wow.
And so I'm asking next about what's the future, on the horizon, I think she said, for Earth's grids.
Yeah.
And yeah, and Mother Soul Gaia is answering this one. So Earth is, as I see it in the Akash, is the incarnation of a soul called Gaia, incarnated as Earth. And she's saying thank you to all the grid workers who have worked in integrity. And the sacred fire lines are starting to be activated, the fire energy between the grids. And she's very happy about that. She's very happy that there are quite a few men as well as women. She likes the balance of the grid workers, that there are both people doing it. And I'm she's just wanting to pass on her gratitude and her thanks, and that there's some fantastic work has already been done and continues to be done. And what we've also done a great job in the light worker community, and or whatever community you want to call it, star seeds, people trying to help,
Yeah.
is connecting to the galactic families and to the star lineages. And that's connected in really well with the crystalline grids of Earth. And now she wants people with integrity to start learning about and connecting in more with the inner Earth lineages of people, of beings and nations, basically, because she's chuckling with me. She's saying, because then you have the sacred architecture that I also work with in the Akash of the earth, the soul, and I work with the earth, the soul, and the galactic. And she said she wants the next, what's on the horizon for the grids is working with the inner earth, which is really crystalline grids, the earth and the galactic families. So, and she said it's going to be mind blowing. It's really going to create and do and expose people to things that they'd never even thought of before. So, although she knows people do think about the inner earth kingdoms, but there hasn't been the exploration of them as there has been of us exploring and discovering our galactic lineages. So she said, so time to make friends. Time to make some new friends. Yeah, but it has to be done with a lot of integrity, because otherwise, the same as any grid work or so-called light work. I say so-called, like, if it's not done with integrity, that's what I mean. It can be damaging. So, yeah, that's what's on the horizon. Was there anything else to the question? That was it, I think.
She will also asked as well how best that she could support the grids and serve Mother Earth at this time.
How best can also. I'm saying thank you so much, Soul Gaia, and to the fire in the sky, and to this beautiful womb healing fire energy at the base of these 3 mountains. How can OSA best serve the grids on Mother Earth at the moment? Fire element. Yeah. she needs to make sure that wherever she is going to do grid work, apart from obviously trying to create the communication with the inner earth lineages, it's to bring in the fire, to light the fires, to be the fire keeper. And they're handing her fire and saying, this is sacred fire, and it's like she's passed some sort of tests and she is approved to work with fire now. With fire, fire element is a very tricky element. Like you have to have mastered to some degrees other elements of earth, your spiritual connection, your ether, and your akashic or your divinity connection, and earth and air and water, before going on to mastering fire. But they said she has the integrity and deserves the responsibility of lighting the fires, mastering the fire element for these grid points. And I'm asking if that has something to do with the fire in the sky. And they're saying not specifically, no, it's just at that grid point there is a fire in the sky, in Washington.
Yeah.
But that's what she can look at tuning into and doing. It's been gifted to her today.
I got chills when you said that about her and the fire.
Yeah.
So yeah. Wow.
Yeah, amazing person. Yeah. Thank you so much for asking your question, Osa.
Yeah, thank you, Osa. That was beautiful. So much coming through for everyone through that question as well. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's come up once before in a session with Floris, who's one of my graduates that also, Corinne, about about how it's time to start working with the inner earth lineages. In that case, it wasn't about grid work, but it's starting to come up on the radar in people's sessions. So it's the new thing. And those of you who already do, I'm sorry, just new to the wider community.
I think Cloris came straight into my head when you started talking about that.
Oh, you're kidding. Wow.
Remember her talking about it recently when we were together, and
really?
she's definitely connected to the inner earth.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to be doing going to Ireland soon with one of our friends.
Yes.
He definitely works a lot with the inner earth as well. So yeah, I think it's
fantastic. Yeah, it's time. For more of that. You'll have to do some grid work with her and invite Osa over to light some fires.
Yes, completely.
And Cloris to come and do something.
Cloris, yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So wow, what an amazing answer that came forward there. So grateful to Mother Gaia for bringing that forward. And we can just see all the love that she holds for humanity and everyone that is waking up right now and really starting to move from a place of integrity, like really checking in with ourselves, just like Valentina brought through there from the Akash and Mother Gaia. It's really important that when we're doing grid work that we're actually in integrity with ourselves and we're bringing that correct coding to the grids. And this is why the Akash is such an amazing resource where we can ask these questions, we can get confirmation, we can get guidance, advice, and we can make sure that what we're doing is for the earth and it's not just part of our ego. Because at the end of the day, we are spiritual beings having a human experience and we have an egoic mind that's been programmed and we are healing that as we awaken. So it's really important for us to make sure we're in true alignment with our soul's organic coding. So yeah, so what an amazing message. Thank you so much, Osa. And if you would like to have your question answered by the Akash, then all you need to do is leave a comment in the comment section. Start your comment with the word question, add your question, and then put your full name at the end. It's important that we have, if you've got any middle names, that we have them, because then we can go into your Akash and open up your records and bring through the answer. Know that by leaving the question in the comments field, you are giving us permission to open up your Akashic records, and also to use that, whatever we film, on our public platforms. And if you are selected and Valentina does answer your question, or one of her graduates answer the question, then I will let you know in the comments section, and I will let you know when it's been published as well. And if you'd like to check out any of Valentina's services, her website address is below in the description, balancebeginswithme.com. She offers all sorts of training in the Akash. You could become a graduate yourself. There's going to be a lot of content that we bring out where we share really how you can work with the Akash and how it can improve your life, and you can integrate into your businesses as well. So look out for that content coming. And yeah, we will see you on the next one.